Hello and welcome back to a new video on my channel. Tonight there are perfect conditions to do a bit of deep sky astrophotography. Tonight I would like to do a review about the Canon Eos 450d. In this video I would like to use the Canon Eos 450d the very first time for deep sky astrophotography. So if you're looking for that camera when using that one for deep sky astrophotography, this video will be really helpful to you, because in this video I would like to use that camera for capturing an image of a deep sky object tonight. So I would like to use my big telescope in combination with this camera. I'm really excited how good this camera is in deep sky astrophotography. Something that's very important for me to mention is that this video is not sponsored and not being paid for it. So all products shown in this video were purchased by myself. But now I would like to start. So before we start, I would like to shortly introduce the entire setup to you. So the mount I would like to use is the HEQ5 Pro go-to mount, and the telescope is the Skywatcher 150 750 PDS Newtonian telescope. On the top I've attached my guiding system, which will be a 60mm guide scope in combination with the CWO ASI 120mm mini mono guiding cam. I would like to use a chroma corrector as well in combination with this camera in order to achieve even better images of the night sky. So this camera is a very affordable camera. So I bought that camera used for around 50 euros. So I'm using different DSLR cameras for astrophotography, and this one is definitely the cheapest I've ever used. So it's a very old camera. It has only 12.2 megapixels. So the camera in general is quite old, but I'm really interested if I can capture images with this camera of deep sky objects. So far I'm not 100% sure which object I would like to capture. Right now there's winter season, so the Orion constellation is quite interesting in winter. So probably I would like to capture an object in that region. So maybe the Orion Nebula, the Horsehead Nebula, Flame Nebula, or even another object. So I'm not sure about that one. But tonight will be the very first time of using that camera for deep sky astrophotography. So this is actually everything I'd like to mention so far. So now we need to wait for a few more hours until it's dark enough, and then we can start focusing the entire telescope. Then we can start imaging the deep sky object. So wish me luck, and we'll see us later when we try to capture this object. As you can see, it's already dark enough to capture images of the night sky. So I have already done the polar alignment process, and I have already focused the telescope, and the telescope is already capturing images of the night sky. So I'm using the Canon Eos 450d right now. I've decided to capture the Andromeda Galaxy. So the Andromeda Galaxy is a great object to capture because it's a very easy object, it's very bright, and it's very big. So I would like to use this telescope to capture the Andromeda Galaxy. As you can hear, the telescope is already capturing images of the Andromeda Galaxy. I've decided to use an exposure time of 30 seconds, which is quite good, so the stars are perfectly round. Right now I'm not using the guiding system, but later on I would like to switch to another target, and then I would like to use a longer exposure time, and therefore I will use the auto guiding system. So as I mentioned, I'm using exposure time of 30 seconds. I'm using an ISO value of 1600, which is the maximum ISO value of the Canon Eos 450d, and that's everything I'd like to mention so far. I already have a total exposure time of 30 minutes, which is quite good. It's not a lot, but for sure, when stacking these images, I can already capture, or I can already create a great image of the Andromeda Galaxy. So I will continue capturing images of the Andromeda Galaxy, and later on I would like to switch the camera to the Canon EOS 2000D, and then I'm planning to capture the Horsehead and Flame Nebula. At this point, I didn't know that photographing the Andromeda Galaxy would unfortunately not go according to plan. For the first 40 minutes, everything went according to plan. The galaxy was centered and the stars were round. Unfortunately, after 40 minutes, the galaxy was no longer in the center of the image. Therefore, I had to delete all of the images where the galaxy was not centered. As a result, my final image of the Andromeda Galaxy only has an exposure time of approximately 40 minutes. Unfortunately, not many details are visible, and the noise of the camera is quite noticeable, even though I used calibration frames. The exposure time of each single image was around 30 seconds, and the ISO value was 1600. Even though the exposure time was so short, it's still amazing how many details can be seen, especially considering that this camera is very old. If I get the chance again, I will collect even more exposure time of this object in order to improve this image even further. If this video was interesting and helpful to you, I would really appreciate a like and a subscription. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and until next time. Clear skies, Felix.